Hey guys, today we are covering one of the online drafts that I do. So, if you're not aware, we draft every Wednesday evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We draft whatever people want to do. So we run a poll every week, and whatever wins the poll basically is what we draft. This week we're drafting one pack of beta, two packs of Arthurian Legends. You got to see a little bit of that pack. Sorry, had like some berries and some good fire stuff, but um, it also had a self-same simulacrum, which is just an incredible card. So I used to be kind of low on that card, but I think it's quite good now. So that is what I took out of the first pack. Um, but yeah, I wanted to showcase this deck because this is, I haven't been doing that many gameplay videos, and the reason is like sometimes you just draft kind of like an average deck and nothing too exciting really happens. So I've been kind of holding on to some gameplay videos that I thought were actually pretty interesting. So I can actually highlight cool decks rather than just do like I'm just gonna just post all of my gameplay content because some of it's just kind of boring. Um, so yeah, so far I'm just taking the best card out of every pack. Um, kind of no reason not to. There's a Cyclops. There's another Plume Pegasus. There's a Disintegrate. I think Cyclops is probably better than Disintegrate. I think Cyclops is what I take. It's been a while since I did this draft, so I don't remember exactly how this is going to go, which will be interesting to see how my draft picks now compare to what I did when I was actually drafting this, but shouldn't be too far off. But the really cool thing that I do in this draft that I'm sure I'm going to spoil in the title is that I draft a Leyline Henge deck. So with one pack of beta, um, obviously beta doesn't have any Leyline Henges in it, but Arthurian Legends does have Leyline Henge, and I've never drafted a Leyline Henge deck before. And I think that I actually drafted a deck that should have actually been playing Leyline Henge, and I did do it. So I'm really interested to see what you guys think about that. If you think like, you could have just gone a totally different direction that would just worked out better. I'd love to hear that feedback. So drop a comment below if that's what you think at the end of the draft. But I think this is just going to be kind of an interesting discussion. There's a Geomancer. Everyone knows I love Geomancer. But there's just a minor explosion, and I don't know that I want to literally take four cards and four different elements to begin the draft. It's a little bit tempting, but the fact that this pack doesn't really have any other good Earth cards, like Border Militia, is just fine. Um, Not really an indication that I should be going into Earth. Like starting in Earth by taking a Geomancer is a little bit weird. So I just take a minor explosion. I've got two fire cards. So it's good to start getting a direction of what you actually want to be drafting. You can see I have four piles of cards up there. That's because we're drafting the beta cube for the first pack. So the beta cube, if you don't know, I made a video about it, explaining what it is and how it works. But it's basically a regular booster pack of beta. Like it looks like a normal pack, except you won't find any of the completely unplayable junk that is in beta packs. Like normally the last like 5 picks or so of beta are just complete junkers that you just don't want to be playing. So I removed all those cards and I made a cube that you'll still have one rare, you'll have 10 ordinaries, you're going to have an ordinary cider avatar and so forth. Um yeah, interested to see what I pick here. Brimland Nomad, Wave Shaper, Roaming Monster are what I'm looking at. Brimland Nomad is just good, and I have two fire cards, so maybe I guess what I want to do is just kind of cement myself in at least one element. So that's what I do. Bunch of good Earth cards now. But there's also just a desert. I could just take desert. But yeah, I like common sense. I'm not like that high on it, honestly, but it's a great card. And then two longbowmen are just fine cards too. Pretty happy to have them. And it's a pretty strong signal that Earth is open. Those are all just playable Earth cards, and there's just like eight Earth cards in this pack. So, but no, I'm just sticking with fire for now. Um, yeah, might be a mistake. Maybe I should just be trying to plant a flag in Earth and seeing what happens. Earth not the best element in Arthurian Legends, so sometimes you want to maybe stay away from it in this specific format where you're opening 2 packs of Arthurian Legends. But in this case, I'm just gonna take another fire card and get past kind of a bunch of junk. I guess there's a tower is the only card that I'm like actually happy to play. So yeah, no surprise that I take that. All right, passing the packs. How many people we got at the table? We got 7 at the table. That's pretty good. Yeah, if you guys want to draft, ooh, there's a sandworm here. That's an easy pick. If you guys want to draft, we draft on the Sorcerers at the Core Discord. So I made a video recently. It's like an updated tutorial on how to draft on Tabletop Simulator. So it's not as hard as it probably looks. Like TTS is pretty clunky, but honestly, especially with the updates that they did, it's actually pretty easy to handle. So you just kind of take the cards out of the packs and put them right into your shaded box, and no one else can see those cards. They can't see the cards in your hand, and you just hit a pass cards button, and that's about it. Pretty easy to draft online. So if you're available, hit me up. And they draft on European time. It's 8:30 p.m. European time, I believe, which is I think it's like 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in the U.S. and you're available in the afternoons on Tuesdays, then you can also draft with the European players. Um, they've got a great community over there too. We pretty much always average around like 6 to 8 people. So yeah, this is a pretty average size draft for us. I guess yeah, maybe Spectral Stalker. I don't love that card, but it's fine. It's kind of just a 2-mana 2-power minion. Yeah, probably take Border Militia. I don't know. Oh, okay. Wow. I actually just take the Raw Dromedary. I think that I'm. Yeah, that's an interesting pick. Oh, I guess I have no Earth cards. That's why I don't take Border Militia. Even though Earth is looking like it's potentially open, I'm still not. I'm still not really willing to go into it, I guess. I mean, I think at the end of this, that Rel Dromedary does make the deck, and I'm glad that I didn't take the Border Militia, but it's just interesting, like, in the moment, why I did that. Maybe I'm. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a weird one, honestly. I'm not sure that I would do that pick again if I was in the seat. Yeah, just a bunch of Earth cards. They're pretty similar. I think I could go either way, kind of. I guess, yeah, Common Sense gets Minor Explosion, which is pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. But I'm staying open. I'm pretty certain that I'm playing fire, and then I'm kind of open to whatever my other element is. It kind of sucks where I'm at right now, like, to be honest, because like my best card that I've drafted is still my first pick, I think, which is Selfsame Simulacrum. Um, and I just have like some good fire cards, but they're all kind of ordinary random things, and then the other two elements that I have cards of, like, not that excited about, but yeah, here I'm just gonna slam a Siege Giant. I'm sure like that card's just completely busted. It's like that or Lava Flow are the best exceptionals in Arthurian Legends. So no surprise there. Ooh, I could even get the Warhorse back potentially, and Siege Giant sits on the Warhorse and then throws the Warhorse. That's always that funny thing that everyone talks about. Cool 2-card combo that makes no logical sense, but can come up. But honestly, someone's going to take that Warhorse unless literally no one's playing fire. That card's quite good and limited. All right, Fire Breathing. That's probably like honestly the next best exceptional in Arthurian Legends. Period. Like fire just has such incredible cards in both beta and Arthurian Legends, but the exceptionals in Arthurian Legends are just out of this world. So yeah, really good sign that we're in the right element. If someone passed us a fire breathing, that means at least the person next to us is not in fire. There's no way. You just can't pass that card. And we do have one beast, it looks. Oh, we have two beasts. We have the raw dromedary and we have the sandworm. Yeah, it's just so easy to cast fire breathing wherever you want it to be. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, this is now like I feel really good about where I'm at. Like I just got two incredible fire cards. So now like I'm 100% to play fire and then I can just figure out, what do I want my other element to be, if any. And yeah, we got harassing ruffians. I think that's definitely better than squire. I would love to have one or two squires in my deck, but um I don't have any 3 mana 3 power minions so far, so you kind of just have to have those for your deck to function. So yeah, I want to start talking about the Leyline Henge thing since I already spoiled it. I am I am at this point. I'm like 100%. I'm playing fire. Fire looks pretty open, I guess. At least the person right next to me isn't playing fire, and then I just get past another harassing ruffians. I think that's what I take here. Yeah. I mean, I just got completely hooked up. Like four fantastic fire cards at the beginning of pack two and pack one. I was already pretty sure that I wanted to be fire, and now I'm like, I could just be like 80% fire with a splash or something, or I don't know at what point I start thinking about Leyline Henge, but if I start seeing a bunch of Leyline Henges coming around, then at some point I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I should see if I can actually just draft mono fire Leyline Henge and make it work. So another great fire card. I don't know if we've seen any Leyline Henges in these packs so far. Um, I kind of want to go back. I'll go back really quick and just see. Our opening pack. Our opening pack did not have a Leyline Henge. And then the next pack also didn't. And then I think the next pack also didn't. And this one doesn't either? Wow, okay. That's 4 out of 7 packs that we've seen, and they just don't have Leyline Henge so far. So honestly, given that, I'm a little surprised that I end up with the Leyline Henge strategy because, maybe there's some tiny chance that someone's actually taking Leyline Henges. I don't think that's really the case. Okay, and then I think here must be where I take the first Leyline Henge. I'm like, okay, like what else do I even take out of this pack? Like, there's a Hamlet's Ablaze and Fire. I don't really care about that. And then there was like a Lake of Bank. That's not very good. Yeah, this pack is just kind of all junkers. So here's like the perfect time to take a chance and be like, maybe I'm actually just gonna draft the Leyline Henge deck. But also, it might just be better to speculate on a water card or something, and then not really sure what I'm doing here, but oh, I think someone wanted me to help them with that stupid setting that makes it so that your cards are all shaded. Anyway, yeah, it probably is better looking at this to just take like the Lake of Fank or the Finwife or something. I don't know. All those cards are kind of just bad though. And then just wheeling the Leyline Henge, like it's like no one takes that card basically. You can just wheel it pretty easily. But why take that chance, I'm just gonna take the Leyline Henge and we're gonna see if we can do it. Um yeah, and then here there's Forge, Bonfire, Charge, but that's not really a playable card, and then another Leyline Henge, so I don't know. I don't know how high I want to take these Leyline Henges, but I don't think I want to take them very high. I'm pretty sure I should take a Forge here and then wheel the Leyline Henge. Um, I might actually, okay, I'm actually taking charge. And the reason is if I am doing the Leyline Henge thing, then it's going to be really hard to get to playables. And even if I can wheel the Leyline Henge, I'm not going to get both the Leyline Henge and the charge out of this pack. So then I need to just take the charge and then wheel the Leyline Henge. And that looks super weird to be taking charge over Forge, which is obviously just much better, but I just can't really spend that many picks on sites when there's actually playable spells in the pack. Um, so yeah, if you're doing the Leyline Henge thing, I think you really do need to just basically take any spells that you can in the one element that you can be. So Leyline Henge, I think the goal is to get like 5 or 6 sites that are Leyline Henge, and then have the rest of your sites be one element, and then just be mono element. Like I think ideally probably fire, because fire is just the best element, but honestly you could be any element if it's completely open enough and you get enough playables. And here I just take a castle servants because of course it doesn't cost any threshold to play. So once again, I'm like really committing to this plan of doing the Leyline Henge thing. And there wasn't a Leyline Henge in this pack. Um, so I think there might only be 2 henges in pack 2, but pack 3, we'll get some more henges, right? It's not a problem. There's never not enough henges for one person to get like 5 or 6 of them. Yep, just take the one thing that I'm willing to play, assuming that I don't have to splash something. And that's I think the biggest risk in playing this deck or drafting it is just literally just not getting enough playables, and then you're forced to splash something. So you really don't want to be doing that. Like I guess if you have 5 Leyline Henges and then you put like 1 or 2 of your splash element sites, then you can play like 2 cards that aren't in your primary element or something. Ideally, like 1 card. You just want to be able to cast your spells and also play. It has to be 5. Like you can't play with less than 5 Leyline Henges. Um, I guess I should explain what Leyline Henge does, just in case you don't know. Like I'm sure you've looked it up if you don't already know, but Leyline Henge says like Genesis, draw a card for each other adjacent Leyline Henge. So then you play it, and then you play another one, you draw a spell. You play another one, you draw 1 spell, and then you play another one and you draw 2 spells because it's now adjacent to 2 other Leyline Henges. So that's really what you want to do. So then that's like 4 extra spells that you're drawing off of your sites. Like that's super powerful actually. So if you can build a mono element deck. So the other thing that people have done with Leyline Henge, I heard that Eric, like the creator of Eric's Curiosa, I think it was like Sorcery Con or something last year when Arthurian Legends came out, and it was like one of the first drafts ever of Arthurian Legends after release, and Eric was there, and he drafted the Leyline Henge deck that had just like a bunch of the family cycle to fix his threshold. I'm not that much of a believer in that. Like, I don't know. Like the family cycle is actually just like good cards, so I'm sure you're gonna be able to get a bunch of them. But then like all of your 2 drops are families. I mean, maybe that's a thing you can do, but then you still should only play like 2 elements probably. But I think this is the other way of doing it. Just play 1 element. And is this the pack? Oh no, I took a siege giant out of this pack. Yeah, got a second siege giant. Fantastic. Just keep opening bangers and fire. That's amazing. And like my curve looks pretty good. I've got a good suite of removals so far. I've got 2 Leyline Henges. There's one in this pack that I'll definitely wheel, and there's nothing else I want out of this pack. So I think when this comes back, I'm just gonna slam a Leyline Henge, and so basically I'm guaranteed to have 3 at this point. All right, this pack comes and it's got 2 Leyline Henge in it. Oh my god, so excited about that. But I need to take a spell. Like you just have to take playable spells. So I'm just gonna take Joust, and then I don't know. So there's 15 cards in this pack. So I guess there's 14 cards in this pack. So How does that work out? Does that mean that I could get a last pick Leyline Henge? I'm not really sure actually. Or it'll just be just a rock. But anyway, at least getting one Leyline Henge out of this pack. Unless it comes back and I need to take that Castle Servants. That's a real possibility as well. All right, no Henge in this pack, but there's a Saracen Raiders. So yeah, once again, like that proves that fire is open in both directions. And I've done a really good job cutting fire. So in pack 2, if anyone thought maybe they were gonna be fire, I must have snuffed that out, and they decided like, okay, there's just no fire cards coming around. I just can't do that. There probably is one other person playing fire at the table. Fire is just such a deep element that it always looks pretty open, even if it's not completely open. I mean, out of 7 people, definitely 2 people can draft it, and maybe the other person is like less than 50% fire, and then I just have all the other fire cards. So far out of these packs, I know that there's 3 Leyline Henges going around. 2 of them are in the same pack, unfortunately. Okay, and then here's another Leyline Henge, so that sets me up pretty well. I'll definitely still wheel this Leyline Henge. Um, I'm not really sure what's going on right now, but someone's probably just having some difficulties or something and figuring it out. Maybe someone disconnected. Oh yeah, it looks like there's 6 people at the table right now. So yeah, we're figuring that out. Let's see how many playables we're at. So we're at 4, 8, 12, 16, 18, it looks like. So it looks a little sketchy. That still means that I just need to take spells whenever I possibly can. Which means like if this pack comes back and it has Leyline Henge and Blacksmith Family, I might just have to take the Blacksmith Family. Um, yeah, we'll see. That's the pack. Here we go. All right, and then no Henge in this pack. I think there's maybe like one pack we haven't seen yet. But yeah, I took a Blacksmith Family because I already have 2 Reckless Squires, and you just don't want to have more than like 2 squires is I think the ideal number. 3 starts to feel like a little bit much. Like they just don't do that much on their own, so they're really like a removal spell that's like a little bit situational, but it has a lot of upside. So they're really good, but those situational things just aren't always going to come up. So you just don't want more than definitely no more than 3. And playing 3 is like kind of cutting it a little bit close. 2 is just the perfect number. Oh, and it looks like someone messed up and didn't take a card or something, but I'm sure we'll figure it out in a second. I think I cut a little bit out that people were trying to figure things out. Yeah, and then after this draft, I think I have one game to show you guys and see how this actually did. Oh yeah, there's like a Poison Nova in this pack, which doesn't belong in the pack because that's a beta card. So I just give that back to whoever's that was. Yeah, once again, there's a Leyline Henge, but there's a Joust. I think I just need to take the Joust. And there's, oh no, I do take a Henge here. Okay. I think I just, yeah, at this point, I'm just, like, it's really a struggle. Like, I need to have 5 Henges, but I also need to have 24 spells. So I think it all works out pretty well in the end. Sorry about this. I'm just gonna skip ahead. I think that yeah, I gave him the Poison Nova and he had to give me back a card. That's what happened. So here we are. Here's the next pack. There is a Blacksmith Family and a Forge, but I think I just need to take a spell. Like spending picks on fire sites is just not a thing that I can afford to do. But there's like 3 fire sites, so maybe one of them comes back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there was 8 cards in this pack, so I'll get 2 cards back. Maybe one of them is a fire site, but it's probably gonna be like Funeral Pyre and just doesn't do anything. All right, and now we're at 6, 10, 14. Now we're at 20 spells. So feeling okay about it, but out of the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out of the next 8 picks, 4 of them need to be spells, and like at least 2 of them need to be Leyline Henge. So here's the Leyline Henge. We need 4 more spells. But yeah, I think this deck is like extremely hard to draft, honestly. Like, you can't just force this deck, I don't think. I mean, maybe you can. Yeah, like, are the Leyline Henges strong enough that you can just kind of force one element and then draft a bunch of Leyline Henges when you get to them? Maybe. It's a real possibility that that's a decent strategy. Um, I'm going to SGCon Las Vegas this weekend, so maybe I'll try it out. I don't know if I want to do that in that high stakes of a tournament, but we'll see. All right, so I got 5 Henges. Still need 4 more spells, which it's looking a little bit sketchy. There might be like a Hamlet's Ablaze that comes back to me. Then maybe like a Blacksmith Family. Okay, here's the Hamlet. Yeah, I mean, you just have to play the Hamlet's Ablaze, I think. Like, you don't want to, but you know, you kind of have to. I already have 2 bonfires anyway, you know. We don't need any bonfires. I'm amazed how good our curve looks at this point. Okay, so there's a Henge and a Blacksmith Family. I think 5 Henges is fine. Like, you don't need 6 Henges. I think 6 is ideal, but given that I still need spells, it's looking a little bit sketchy. So I think we're at 22 spells. We need 2 more out of the next 4 picks. All right, and we bricked. I need 2 spells out of the next 3 picks now. Yeah, this is where it gets real sketchy. But honestly, fire, like every fire card is playable, I think, except for like Hamlet's Ablaze and Charge, I think are like the 2 worst spells in fire. Ooh, and then we bricked again. So the next 2 picks have to be fire cards. There is a Just a Rock, which technically you can play. I actually put it in the pile for a second. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But then, like, yeah, okay. So now we're definitely not getting the playables. What did I just get? I got a bonfire, which is like whatever. I don't really care that much about it. Yeah, then we got a grain sparrow. So we got kind of screwed on playables there at the very end. So I would say that this is like a less than ideal situation for the Leyline Henge deck because I do actually have to splash. So yeah, it's either like either I play Just a Rock and then just put a spell in my deck that I literally can't cast, which is not a good idea, or like I can play the Tower, I can play the Spectral Stalker, um, and then not play the Just a Rock, and then have like 1 or 2 air sites in my deck. Um, Looks like the thing that I went to right away is I'm gonna play 1 air site, and then I have 1 Castle Servants, and then I just have 1 Plume Pegasus in my deck. So maybe at some point I draw the 1 tower and I can play as Plume Pegasus. Otherwise, it's not really the end of the world if I just kind of get screwed on not being able to play my Pegasus. Hopefully, having 5 Leyline Henges makes up for that. I do think 6 is ideal. 5 is okay. This was a great first test of this archetype, I'll call it. So I do change my mind. So I I take out the Just a Rock, I put in a Spectral Stalker, and then I'm considering putting in a second air sight. I do have a Lookout. Lookout is good, but then that means I only have 5 fire sights. I think that is what I end up going with. So I have a Lookout and a Tower, and then I have 5 fire sights, and I have 5 Leyline Henge. So 5-5-2 is what my situation looks like. And then I'm gonna bottom a Wasteland. I really want to make sure I have 2 fire sights. I think I might actually end up mulliganing another fire sight, which is pretty sketchy, especially since I have 4 double fire cards in my hand. That's probably just a mistake, but I really want to make sure I'm testing out the cool Leyline Henge thing, and maybe drawing extra spells is gonna help me do that. Something kind of weird happened with the Atlas there, so I wanted to go back and make sure that the cards that I put to the bottom actually went to the bottom, and they did. So I'm going to draw 2, and I drew 2 Leyline Henge, which doesn't make me feel necessarily great about my hand. I'm playing against a Geomancer. But really, I guess I'm playing kind of for like control. Like I really want the game to go long so I can just draw a bunch of cards with Leyline Henges, and hopefully that just wins me a game or two. So he goes village, make a soldier, make a rubble. And then I think I draw a spell because, maybe I draw a blacksmith family. That would be ideal. I play Leyline Henge. I'm showing my hand here. I play to the side because you really want to make like a box with your Leyline Henges, and obviously I'm not going to be able to like make a box in front of Geomancer, so that's what I go with. Looks like he flips the rubble, treetop hideout, give the foot soldier stealth. A little bit weak, but all right. Ominous Owl. So far he's not showing that he's going to be putting on much pressure, which is exactly what I want. I draw another double fire threshold spell, and I play Leyline Henge also in the back row because I just want to stay away from his sights as long as I can, basically. Let's see what he does here. And yeah, just my whole hand is double fire and charge. Like, this is such a horrible hand. I really should have just kept that second fire sight. And I should also just be drawing sights for turn. I think I drew another spell for turn, which doesn't really make any sense because I'm playing Leyline Henges, which also draw me spells. So I just need to draw a sight, and I draw an air sight, so I just have literally nothing to do this turn. Yeah, I just tap a draw another sight. I draw Leyline Henge. So yeah, this is going pretty horribly. And then he did put a Sword and Shield on his Ominous Owl. That's a little bit strong. But I do have a minor explosion, so at some point I'll get to double fire and I can just deal a bunch of damage to that and hopefully steal his Sword and Shield back from him. I think that if I was up against an opponent that was playing sights in the regular way and didn't just allow me to play all my sights to the back row, I'd be in a bit more trouble. And then also he played a sight where I really want one of my 4 Leyline Henges to go. I just didn't want to play a sight into like right in front of a 3 power Ominous Owl. That just doesn't seem good. So I'm being very cautious. Draw another sight, draw another Leyline Henge. So that is super sketchy. All right, but then I draw Blacksmith Family, and if I play the Blacksmith Family, it's just gonna die to the Ominous Owl. So I think I just don't play it. It really sucks to not be able to play it. But on the next turn, I'm gonna have 6 mana if I play a tower, and then I can go play Blacksmith Family, play Minor Explosion. That's pretty good. if his owl is in range, of course. So yeah, he is correctly playing his sites, blocking my Leyline Henges. So I have nowhere to play Leyline Henges to draw any additional cards. So looking pretty sketchy. I don't think that this game really plays out in a way that's like normal at all. So this isn't probably like the best showcase of this kind of deck. Like my opponent's playing 3 element Geomancer. He only played 1 Earth side at the beginning. Um, and then he must have drawn a site or 2 even. Um, and then like he's playing Ominous Owl. Like people don't really play that card in limited very often. I mean, he at least put a Sword and Shield on it, so it is a real threat. But yeah, he's just taking a really long time to actually put any pressure on. I'm assuming he has threshold issues because he has 5 cards in hand and he just didn't play a spell that turn. So honestly, yeah, I think I probably lose this game against most opponents, but my opponent just got a little bit unlucky and just didn't have any pressure. All right, I draw Burning Hands. So I actually drew a spell there, which is pretty sketchy. I mean, I have like 8 spells in hand or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I had 8 spells in hand. And I think maybe I'm just now realizing like, oh, I play Blacksmith Family, but I actually can't Minor Explosion the bird yet. Oh yeah, so I move the family over, so it's at least safe for another turn. Oh yeah, and then I think I just play a 4-power minion, so I can maybe block the dude with the sword and shield, but I guess I don't do that. I choose to throw my avatar so that next turn, no matter where the bird is, I can hit it with Minor Explosion. I guess that's a fine plan as well. I did play one other game with this deck, but I think I like forgot to record the beginning of the match. So unfortunately, this is the only game I have, but I plan on I'm sure we'll get back to drafting Arthurian Legends at some point, and I'm gonna experiment a little bit, and you know, I mean, it's only gonna be like 1 out of every 20 drafts or something you actually can draft the Leyline Henge deck, but maybe someday I'll just try. I'm just gonna force it today. Like I'm just gonna try to draft Mono Fire Leyline Henge. Like fire probably is your best bet, honestly. Fire is just such a deep element. Like I said, there's only like a couple kind of unplayable cards in Arthurian Legends and Fire, so it's just kind of a busted element. All right, and then he plays Brown Bear on my site because of Ominous Owl. Attack with Ominous Owl. So then I've got 5 mana. I can play a site and have 6 mana. By the way, those astute people watching might notice that I have a Hamlet's Ablaze in hand, and I am very aware of this Hamlet's Ablaze. So at some point, after I stabilize, um, hopefully I can play a Hamlet's Ablaze on his wasteland, and then it detonates on my turn. So then, beginning of my next turn, it blows up, and then I can play this last Leyline Henge right on top of the wasteland and draw 2 cards. That's very powerful and definitely something that I'm thinking about this whole match. All right, and then Minor Explosion on your bird and play a minion on top of it. Steal your sword and shield. Very happy to do that. And then I'm just gonna move my Blacksmith Family back because I drew a site and it was another air site. Like, yeah, my luck is kind of bad. Although honestly, like my mulligan was pretty bad. Is really what I should be saying because thinking about it now, yeah, there were only 5 fire sites in my deck, and I saw 3 of them in my opening hand, and I mulliganed 2 of them. Then it's 2 out of the next how many cards? 2 out of the next 9 cards. I just need one of them to be a fire site, and I mean, I did get unlucky. Like at this point, I've seen seven sites. Like I drew 4 out of those 9, and 0 of them were fire sites. That's probably like it's probably still like a 20% chance of that happening or something, but Yeah, I think the mulligan was just kind of a bad decision, and also if I drafted this like the to the peak potential where it was actually mono element, then it would have been quite good to have just no air sights in my deck, just like 6 fire sites, 6 Leyline Henge, or 7 fire sites, and 5 Leyline Henge might even be the ideal amount. All right, so I've got Sword and Shield on my Harassing Ruffians. I can move over, give it to the Siege Giant, and then kill the brown bears with it. I think that's probably what I'm going to do here. I draw another site because I really just want to actually have a second fire threshold. Like right now, I'm just really relying on this blacksmith family that luckily has survived a very long time. So I move over with Harassing Ruffians, and then I throw Harassing Ruffian. Well, I drop the Sword and Shield, pick it up with my Siege Giant, and then um, throw the Harassing Ruffians with Siege Giant, and then I use Siege Giant to kill the bear because his Foot Soldier is tapped. So that is all working out really nice. And then I'll just play a 6 power minion right in front of his 4 power minion. That's pretty strong. He doesn't. I can see his hand. I saw his hand from Lookout, so I know he doesn't have any removal that can deal with it right now. He does have a Burning Hands that he can cast from his Foot Soldier at some point, but right now I'm pretty insulated against that. If he really wants to move forward and use it to just kill my blacksmith family, like that's not the end of the world because I actually have a fire site now. Yeah, and here unfortunately plays Quagmire, kind of locking all my stuff down, but my stuff is locked down on his site, so I can actually just attack him for 10 if I really want to with all 3 of those units. I don't think he realized that at the time. And then yeah, I think he's just looking at this roaming monster and like it's just it's just basically dead. I think what he should do is just pass the turn. Like if he actually doesn't have anything to answer it, he should just pass, and then I have to at least spend a turn attacking over there to kill the roaming monster. That's better than having the roaming monster attack and then I block, and then I guess actually that would be fine as well. Oh, okay. She does have the answer. He top decked a grapple shot. But I was gonna say actually, yeah, if the roaming monster did just attack on its site, if he didn't have an answer to it, that would have been a fine bluff, I guess, because the Cyclops would have blocked and it doesn't actually strike when defending, so then I would have to then untap and then attack with it. All right, and now I do have a fire site in hand, so I don't really need this blacksmith family anymore. Oh yeah, I think the cool thing I do here is I can attack with Siege Giant, attack a site for 6. Actually, does that work? I think I have to drop the Sword and Shield first. Oh yeah, I think it's drop Sword and Shield, give it to Spellslinger, throw Spellslinger with Siege Giant over to the Blacksmith family. Because just because they're immobile doesn't mean they can't be thrown. So yeah, and then give the Sword and Shield to the Blacksmith family, have it trade for Roaming Monster. And then my Spellslinger's still untapped, so um I still only have 1 fire threshold, so I think I need to probably play this bonfire this turn, but I would really love for my Spellslinger to be able to like move over and grab the Sword and Shield, but I think I just play a different minion. No? Okay. Not sure what I do here then. I'm hoping I don't cheat here. This would be a nice turn to play Hamlet's Ablaze on that wasteland, but unfortunately, like my things are immobile because of that Quagmire, so I can't move them away before it detonates. Yeah, play Spectral Stalker, play. Ooh, actually, maybe I did cheat there. Or I guess I could have just played the Saracen Raiders before I attacked with the blacksmith family. Maybe I caught that and I just told him like, hey, um, there wasn't any new information. Like he didn't block, I didn't draw any cards or whatever. So can I just play the Saracen Raiders and attack with it and then do this thing and kill your roaming monster? Um, so that does actually just work out fine. It was a legal play if I had sequenced it that way. I think I just didn't really show it sequenced in that way. Yeah, his hand looks pretty bad. Like he has all these like AoE damage effects, but he like just got a sight in front of his avatar, so he just wasn't even really able to use the incinerate or the stone rain. I don't know. This turn I think he just flipped a sight into a wasteland, which I think was probably just a mistake. I don't know why he didn't just move forward and incinerate my two minions. That's kind of crazy that he didn't do that. That would have been a perfectly legal play, right? Yeah, yeah, that's pretty strange. Maybe just has something else in mind. Oh, okay, right. Place Siege Giant, and then he actually used Incinerate and not, or what is it? He used Disintegrate, not Incinerate. That's a little surprising. Hmm. Oh, because it's 9 mana. Yeah, Incinerate is 5. Siege Giant is 4. So yeah, a little bit sketchy. I probably would have just moved forward and cast Incinerate. Like, how badly do you really need that 8th site? I mean, it feels bad to like have a rubble next to Geomancer and then move Geomancer away from the rubble, but honestly, like you don't need more than 7 sites in play. Hardly ever. And then yeah, I use Harassing Ruffians to attack his Geomancer, which can't be blocked by the Foot Soldier because Harassing Ruffians has that special ability where it can't be blocked when attacking units. And then yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Hamlet's Ablaze on his site. Get it out of the way. Let me play my Leyline Henge. That's just so powerful. And somehow even I think it was just like bad sequencing and like he had kind of a clunky hand and he had removal that he couldn't use and all that kind of stuff kind of added up to where he just wasn't putting that much pressure on and he had a difficult time removing my minions. So I'm like ahead on board. I'm ahead on life. I mean, he has more sites in play than me, but like I said, I think it might have just been a mistake for him to play that additional site. Um, so yeah, basically everything's going my way, and I'm about to play a site and draw 2 spells. So yeah, this game's completely just locked up. I'm so curious to see how a deck like this would perform. Like if it was mono fire, if it had 6 Leyline Henges, I think it's just gonna be like incredible. Like if you're just drawing 4 extra spells every game, then the power level that you're missing out by not picking powerful cards and other elements isn't going to be. I don't think that's going to outpace the value you get out of drawing 4 extra spells every turn. Like that's just nuts. That looked like Burning Hands to deal 2 and then Incinerate to deal 4 more. So yeah, he dealt six damage to my face and then killed my Harassing Ruffians. And then he I think he made a comment like, "Oh god, please don't have the Leyline Henge. I'm just like, of course I have the Leyline Henge. So yeah, play Leyline Henge. And then Genesis, draw 2 spells because it's adjacent to 2 things. I just draw 2 absolute bombs. Yeah. This game is just completely over now. Like, when you have Burning Hands and Fire Breathing in your hand and you're putting them at Death's Door, like, there's just not really anything that they can do at that point. I guess I do need to use one of these burn spells to actually put him at Death's Door. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Bloom Pegasus, give it charge attack. Yeah, that is probably the best thing to do. Like, now I have 2 different options for removal spells. Like, there's literally, I think, not a site on the board that he can go to, even if he has like teleport. Yeah, because Burning Hands can go all those directions, and then Saracen Raiders can also cast Burning Hands, and that can go all the way to his wasteland if I really needed to. Yeah. GG. Anyway, yeah, this was a really sweet draft. I'm really gonna keep my eye out for this now. I kind of, I had no intention of drafting Leyline Henge. You should never go into a draft like I'm gonna force the mono fire Leyline Henge deck. Like, I just don't think that's the correct strategy ever in a draft. You should read the packs and figure out what you want to do. But I'm really good at reading packs, I think, and like reading the signals, trying to figure out what lane you're supposed to be in. Like, what are the elements that other people aren't drafting that you're getting really good cards in that you can take advantage of that by ending up in the elements that other people aren't, and then you just have really good cards. So, um, and the 2 ways that I have of doing that are usually I just take the best card out of every pack. When you get a 4th or 5th pick, like really good fire card, then like the people like 3 seats to the right of me aren't in fire. So then if that kind of thing happens and you can cement yourself in one element like I did in this draft, um, then you can really build a mono element deck. And when you're in Arthurian Legends, like forcing Leyline Henge as like a site base is definitely something you can do. Like, no one really wants Leyline Henges. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna be the only one paying attention to how many Leyline Henges there are in the packs. So you can pretty easily pick up as many as you want and take them like after wheeling. So let's just look at the deck while I talk about stuff. All right, this is the final deck. Yeah. So biggest misses are definitely not having just all fire sites, basically. Like, having to splash those 2 air cards just really sucked. I think maybe just not playing the lookout and dealing with it when I draw my air cards would be fine. But yeah, I think there's a real archetype that you can draft. I do not think that you should draft this even 1 out of 10 drafts. I think it's more like 1 out of every like 15 drafts or something. You can like end up in like one elements that's really open, and then just wheel some Leyline Henges and end up with like 5 or 6 of them and be pretty happy. But if you have to splash like this, like, that was a disaster. If you saw in that game, like, I drew 2 air sites before I drew my second fire site. I also messed up my mulligans. Like, I just didn't really know exactly what to do in that situation. I think if I had 7 fire sites, then that mulligan might have made sense. Because I'm just super likely to draw at least a second fire site within my first 4 extra sites, basically, even if I mulligan 2 of them. But with 2 air sites in the deck, yeah, that was really sketchy. Yeah, but I did 3 blacksmith family. I think that was the other thing I was thinking of. That's why I was willing to go to two air sites. Because it's I'll have my fire threshold under me, right? But anyway, that was a really cool draft. I'm really excited that I got to draft Leyline Henge once during this meta before we go into Gothic, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be trying to do it again in the future. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. This was a really sweet draft. I was really excited to be able to do this, and this is probably going to be my last gameplay video before Gothic comes out, and then I'm going to be I'm sure posting a decent amount of gameplay videos or like sealed deck building and stuff. I'll probably crack a box and build a bunch of sealed decks, and I'll do weekly drafts for sure. I might even try to do the European drafts as well as the US drafts just to get as much experience as I can in. And then me and Nick will be doing a Gothic set review. I think he's committed to doing that with me. He told me a while ago that he would do that. So I'm sure that we'll make that happen for you guys. So comment below, let me know what you think of this deck. Tell me what you're excited about in the future, what kind of content you want me to make, and hopefully catch me in one of the weekly drafts, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays in the Sorcerers at the Core Discord. I'll try to post in the comments below and pin it to join that Discord or watch my tutorial video. And please subscribe so you catch all of my future content. That'll be it for this one. Bye, guys.